Hi there, this is Chris. Haven't had an update last week, so I'm doing a 2 week one, I guess, today. Today is Monday, August 31st. I had my surgery on August 7th, so what is that? I think this is the 4th week in, or something like that, post-op. So give you some updates and kind of where we're at and how we're doing. So first of all, my weight today is at 269, and it's been interesting. My weight has been at least the last week or so, maybe a little longer. It's been pretty consistent, which is kind of strange. I'm thinking maybe having more water in maybe is keeping it that way, but I've been pretty flat on the weight end. It's been just going down slower, and I'll talk a little bit more about some thoughts on there. But my body definitely is changing, which is good. So I'm now down my clothing size now. I actually wearing like 2X shirts now, which is good, which is very good. And even my shorts, my shorts that I was wearing just the other day, they were stretchy at a 46. Which is probably legit at 48, so that's really good because I haven't been under 50 in quite a long time. And when I started this, I was more like a 58 or 58 to 60 actually. So that's a tremendous difference. Interesting enough, I bought some clothes at Kohl's. They had some clearance stuff, and I know clothes now, like, you don't want to make big investments because you change in your sizing. So and I didn't. So I bought some clearance stuff there for the summer, some clothes at Kohl's, and I bought some jeans too because I figured, where we live in Reno, it gets cool pretty quick. We have hot summers, but then we don't really have like a fall or a spring, in my opinion. It's very short before it gets cold. So I bought some jeans too, and I had some jeans that were like 52 or like 50, and I put them on. Tried putting on the other was on Sunday, and they fell right off. They weren't even anywhere near my body, which was kind of really strange. So luckily it was cold, so I could return it, so that wasn't an issue. But going through clothes pretty quick. I think my body is even though my weight's been pretty flat, I think it's the body's been shifting, and and too, when you talk about the weight, I mean, it could be maybe muscle, water, fat. It's a combination of things. So, and when I saw when I saw for my second follow-up with the physician's assistant, he actually commented because he saw me the week prior that I definitely looking slimmer. So that's good. So that's kind of what's going on there. And it's interesting because right now I am still doing the walking, which is good. And I think that's really, we're doing it, I think, for the long term, and the walking has been really good. I do a walk every day, and definitely, as I mentioned before, like with the lower weight, it's just a lot easier to do the walk. So I'm going further distance. As I mentioned before, the area we're in there's a lot of trails in Reno. It's very good for, it's known actually for its outdoor stuff. We're actually not super far from Lake Tahoe, and the culture here is definitely an outdoor culture. Just thinking of my neighbor as I was walking the other day, I mean, I'm one of the few houses that does not have jet skis or a boat, because everybody does, because everybody every weekend goes up to Tahoe. Anyway, it's interesting. I mean, because of that, we have just a lot of walking paths here. In this particular area, I live on the side of a mountain, and there's just a lot of paths around here, which is kind of cool. So doing a lot of walking, the other day I got in about 45 minutes worth of walking. I walk with my wife. We typically, after dinner, we'll do our walk, and it's kind of good, I think, for the digestion and to settle yourself too. When I eat now, I mean, I know it's obviously a smaller stomach, and it feels like every meal I have is like I'm like full, not full to a bad spot, but I feel full. And to that point, what I've been eating, where on this week in this phase, it's supposed to be shakes as meals, and then soft food items for snack. And I've been kind of doing that a little bit in reverse, and I haven't had any problems with it. So I think it's just very agreeable to me, and it's really interesting because I don't want to have a ton of dairy all the time, I need variety too. So like for the morning, what I generally do is it's important to keep your protein in, because you want to have protein to not lose muscle. So typically in the morning I'll have a shake for my breakfast / snack, and then in the my lunchtime I'll have a small lunch, and actually I found something I think that's really great size is Del Taco has now. It's funny to say it too, because I'm not a huge fan of Del Taco, but they have a mini salad that has like a meat, either their taco meat or you can get chicken, and really it's shredded lettuce with that, and then there's a little bit of sauce on it, and it's small. It's like it's like maybe, I don't know, maybe a 4-inch square or something like that, but it's just the right portion, and I get it with chicken, and it's really good. It's not a ton of calories. I want to say like 130 calories or something like that, and the portion is literally just perfect. I think more than that, I think is too much, and less than that, you want to get in your protein, and quite frankly, I want to have in vegetables too, because it's good for your body. So I've been having a lot of those, which is a pretty nice lunch. Or like today, I had some chili. Chili is nice too, and I had actually yesterday, for a real treat, I had a Wendy's baked potato with chili. Not a whole, of course, because those potatoes are monstrous, but I had about half of one. I split it with my wife, actually, and I didn't eat all the potato, because I know potato is not, quite frankly, it's a low quality food. I mean, it's all carbs. There's not a ton in it that's really good for you. That's bad. That's natural, of course. It's not bad, but it's just it's a carb bomb. So anyway, so I had that with the chili. Maybe I'd say maybe about a third of a potato or so of one of those potatoes, with the chili and a little bit of sour cream, and that was really nice, because it was again like a food, so, and not a protein shake. So I had that, which was really good, and actually something else I tried this weekend, which was pretty cool, is watermelon. I love watermelon, and it's not, we don't add sugar, of course, or anything, and it's sweet. It has its own sugar in there, its own fruit sugar. So had that, which was really nice, and that was really agreeable. I was really surprised that, and that's the thing interesting to mention is I've not had any issues with taste. It seems what I understand is that sometimes this can affect people's perception of different tastes, and it hasn't with me. It's been very normal, I think. The stuff I liked before from a taste perspective, I still continue to like. It doesn't taste any different. But it was nice having watermelon in there too. That was a good little treat. I'm definitely feeling more at this point, like I'm conscious of the protein because I know I need to have it. And I take this horrible vitamin. We have this Mary Ruth's liquid vitamin that I got on sale, which is unbelievably atrocious, but I bought it, so I'm going to endure it and have it. So I have that daily too. But anyway, it's been nice having more normal food. It's been really good, and it's interesting because the stomach really kind of, you do have that hard stop. I mean, and I know there's technical ways to defeat it, but you do. You feel full as you eat. And you have whatever it is. You have the a quantity that's that smaller quantity, and you get full. And it's interesting because I've noticed as you eat, you eat, and there's a delay between where you feel full and when you eat. I think that's where people get in trouble, actually, is because if you eat too quickly and you're putting it down. You may still have some that did not kind of fill your stomach yet, but on the way. And I think that's where people have their problems. And again, I've not had any sort of vomiting or anything yet, thank God, which has been awesome. But I do notice as I have like, you know, a couple of bites or something, and of course you got to chew it really thoroughly, but you know, stop. You know, I push the plate away for, you know, for a little bit. I don't time it, but for a little bit of time, and see how you're doing. You know, are you okay to have more? Should you have more? Do you want to have more? You know, but you at least have to kind of pull back and ask yourself that question, if you want to move forward and have more or not. But I feel like the quantities seem very consistent what you can eat, no matter what it is you're eating. It seems, which is really, really interesting. With the exception of the watermelon, because the watermelon is, you know, you chew it and it's very liquidy, and you can actually have a bit more of that than, like, let's say like beans or something like that. But it's really neat. It's neat to have that. I saw my wife yesterday actually as we were walking. Like you know, it's interesting because the food that you eat. I mean, there's tastes that are good, and you know, the sensation is good. Like watermelon. Watermelon's really, I like it, and it's very appealing. But the interesting thing is, though, it's not because you have a restriction in you, and you feel the restriction. You feel full, you know, as you eat. It doesn't have, at least to me, it doesn't have that same appeal of when you were dining before. So to me, it's becoming more of it's kind of a little more of a mechanical exercise that I know I need to do than an enjoyable exercise. I'll tell you something. My wife was she was chatting with a friend or something, and for whatever reason the topic came up about Brazilian barbecue. You know, we were chatting about this, I think, on a walk, and you know, Brazilian barbecue, its meats are really good, they're really interesting, they're flavored really well. At least to us, we like that kind of stuff. Not that we do it often, but we used to when we lived in other places. With the, you know, and it's just one of those things. Like we chatted about going, and you know, if you have like a business dinner or something, or some, you know, other engagement where you kind of have to go, like, you know, how you would kind of handle it, you know. And the thing is, like, you know, I have memories of like going to Brazilian barbecue in places I lived before, and the food's really good. You know, you have a variety of meats that are really delicious, but it's like in this day and age, like where I am now, like I think that relationship to that, like that, doesn't have really any appeal to me, because I know if I were to go there, you know, actually, my wife said exactly this, like, you know, if like, what's the point? You know, if I were to go there, I could have like a piece of chicken, you know, and that's it. You know, one piece of, let's say, like a chicken thigh or something, and that's it. And then you're pretty much done with. And she's years in, so her stomach is not like mine is. It's, you know, it's where it's you know, it's healed obviously and everything, and not swollen and all that kind of stuff. So she's eating now what she will continue to eat. You know, so and the thing is, like, why would you want to do that, though? I mean, you know, Brazilian barbecues tend to be like or melting pot, something like that. Like, those meals they're not cheap, you know, or all you can eat sushi, whatever. You know, like, so if I was a Brazilian barbecue spending like, you know, $60 a head or something like that, like, I would go if it was a business thing, and like, you know, the group was going, and you know, we were, you know, I've been to those places where you go for a business dinner or something, and you know, you're going with a vendor or whatever, and all that. But you know, you go, you do your thing, you know. But at least as far as if it was me and it was like a leisure thing, like, I don't have any interest in that. I mean, why would you want to do that when you know you're so restricted? And I guess what I'm trying to get at is it just feels like the eating experience, like that kind of what in the past would have been a really nice experience, a nice long leisurely dinner, like, it just doesn't have it's not the same. It's not the same. Something for you to note too if you're considering doing this, and I don't consider it bad. I told my wife, I'm like, you know, so the dining experience, at least as I see it now, you know, 3 to 4 weeks in, you know, I don't want to say it's ruined, but it's different. You know, watermelon still tastes delicious, as it always has, and I could still have it, and you know, I still have a good amount of it, which is nice, and you know, and it's not bad to have. It's actually pretty relatively low in calories for what it is. But like, you know, as far as like a Brazilian barbecue type experience, or or a melting pot or a more elaborate, bigger meal that's tied to social stuff. Like it's that it's not interesting. It's really not of high value because you're not going to get a lot of value with it because you still got the same restriction that you always have, whether it's a McDonald's hamburger or a lettuce or filet mignon. I mean, it's still the same restriction that you have, and quite frankly, because you chew it really well and you have it or whatever. It's not something that's like you can really make a 2 to 3 hour experience or something that's like, wow, that was really wonderful. So, that's my opinion again at this point in time. But I think with that though, I mean, you're like everything in life. I mean, you gain something, you lose something, you gain something. And I was telling my wife, like, here we are walking around, we actually have a little bit of our time. I have multiple kids, as I mentioned earlier in our videos, like, and we're walking around the neighborhood. I honestly feel now like, we live in a pretty cool area, and I think I'm actually enjoying it now, and I'm thinking about other things that I can do now that I want to do. I'm actually looking to get a pair of, we have trails behind us, and of getting, hiking shoes because now I can do it. I don't get winded. I could talk with my wife. All we're doing is gibbering back and forth as we're going on these paths and walking and stuff, and it's kind of nice, because you have 3 kids. You don't always have opportunity to chat about whatever. So, and it's kind of cool. I mean, I can have a private conversation with her on a path, or we talk about some nonsense, whatever it is that husbands and wives talk about, and it's nice to have that ability to do so. And you're out there, and we, like I said before, we live on the side of a mountain, so so we see some nice pretty views, and I see the mountains behind us and stuff like that further up the hill, and it's just it's really cool. So I was telling her, you're giving up. Yes, I'm not gonna have that Brazilian barbecue experience in the past that I liked, but probably honestly not even like a melting pot type thing. Not that I'm not saying I'll never have fondue again, because I'm sure I will, but I'm not going to really do a 2 to 3 hour, type thing, where in the past, like, Brazilian barbecue, yeah, that sounds really cool. It wasn't something you do all the time, but, you enjoy that type of experience. So that is getting given up, or a lower value, like or people go on a cruise, I was thinking of cruises when we had last time when we were pricing it. They always have all the big alcohol packages, and I'm not a drinker. I've never really cared for it. And I tried it, and it didn't really appeal to me. Even trying different types of alcohol, it's just I really didn't care, quite frankly. So, and so like at a cruise, there's that aspect. There's the booze packages, so you can get go crazy or whatever, and don't really care, And then the food stuff was appealing because they always had the interesting things you could try. But like even in that, like, I don't really, now I feel like that way, like I used to feel about the alcohol. Just don't really care. You know what I mean? Because it's just not really that. And when I say that for myself. Of course, I care to people I go with that they enjoy, and if they are, that's awesome. And like with the Brazilian barbecue, if it was, a close relative was going and it was a birthday party, I'm not going to be like, no, but, not going to be a jerk about it, but it's just something that's not like something that's exciting, though, to that experience. But all these other experiences are opening up, which is cool, and the walking thing I think is really cool, and I really like that, and I feel fortunate because Reno is a great area for outdoor stuff. I mean, it's the best that I've seen, I think, in pretty much anywhere, especially that it's not like in other locations where you have to go and drive for hours to go to the wilderness. I got wilderness, about 150 feet from me. We have where we live. I mean, it's right there. I took the dogs out for a walk. I hear coyotes out there. I see coyotes cross the road. I mean, it's not, just saying it's nice because it's natural. Not that I'm a fan of coyotes, but we have that here. There's this little it's a little pond that we have up over here too. Which is hidden, in the wilderness, and it's neat to see that. So so all those experiences kind of opening up that, and I'm really looking forward to, longer term, getting back into riding a bicycle, because I used to really enjoy riding a bike. It's a different experience. I kind of like that, and even maybe getting back into diving. I early on when I was before I got married, I was looking to get certified because I went to Mexico and I was going to do some diving down there, and I didn't finish the certification, but now that things will actually fit me, which is awesome. And I'm not saying by present weight still, because I'm still heavy, but as this starts to slide and I get closer to my goal, I mean, I really enjoyed the whole diving thing. I bought a whole bunch of stuff to do it at that point, and I did part of the certification for it, and it's an interesting experience. It's different, So, and I just like that, so giving up one thing of the, enjoying yourself at some of these restaurants, for really, I was telling my wife, really, you're giving that up, but you're opening up the everything else in so many different ways. You go on vacation, or you go, we were looking to go to Europe or Asia or something, and I mean, to walk around these cities and to do it, and you don't really, you're at least, you don't have that imposition on yourself that like, yeah, those steps look really deep. You're thinking, no, I want to climb to the top, and that's what I think when I go on these trails back here. It's like, as we're getting back there, like I know. I've seen, as it's flying overhead, I've seen, what this area looks like, and it's like, I see a trail, and what's over there? And I want to go. I want to go over there and see what it is, and I could do it now, which is really cool. And it's not, it's enjoyable because this is my backyard. I should know this area, So it's been really exciting for that. I think the trade-off is a reasonable trade-off. I'm still, I'm doing really well with the food. I mean, I know with the soft stuff, I've actually, moved to having more regular type food, and by that I'm not going crazy. I'm not having like tortillas or steak or things that are really, I think, a bigger risk to my stomach at its present, but I can have like carnita meat, or that I mentioned before, the shredded chicken with the little Del Taco salad. I mean, I don't have the tortilla strips in it because it's a waste. And because, now I'm not eating for bulk, another nice thing is I don't want to, if it's something that's not like really tasty or healthy for me, why the hell am I going to eat it? I'm not going to eat it. I mean, it's not a gain, it's kind of a waste, so I think I'm being economical as far as that too, of just being more conscious of, what it, have a little bit of it. Like it's funny, my wife the other day, I had a little bit of avocado cheese, which is on my approved list to have, and I put a little bit of sauce in it, and it really wasn't that good. And I happen to like Italian food, but I didn't think it was that tasty. But my wife is like, you should put a little bit of Parmesan in it, and I was like, oh, I was like, oh, I don't want to put Parmesan, it's probably like 1,000,000 calories, And she's like, no, it's actually not, She's like, just measure it. And I looked at it, and I forgot what it was. I think it was like 20 calories or something like that for a teaspoon. And it's like, you know what? I'm like, I'm going to do it. And that's not really that bad. 20 calories is not the end of the world. When you're operating, right now my diet calories, I'm getting maybe about 400 a day or something like that. So 20 calories is still, it's not the end of the world. It's not like I'm having like a brick of mozzarella or something like in the old days, or, maybe it wouldn't be a teaspoon in the old days. Maybe it would be half a cup, So, so anyway, so it's good to be conscious of that too, and I'm trying to, my goal is to try to make this whole thing, I'm moving up gradually, but I want to be deliberate in what I have and be careful with what I have, but I don't want to just have, just keep it down to like the bare, to toothpick level, so I hope that makes some sense. So anyway, it's been really good. It's been, my energy has been good, the walking has been good, feeling the whole body change has been good. clothing has been fantastic. I mean, I mean, where I'm at now, I really am glad to get rid of the big stuff, and it's funny, I'm worrying less now about that. Like as far as clothing, you know, we were looking at doing a little drive trip, and it's like, you know, it's nice not having to fear that, like, you know, hey, what if I don't pack something and I'm screwed because I can't get it locally. I mean, now I'm almost at the size now I could just, you know, go into Target or Walmart or whatever if I had to get something, and it's like, it's just not a big deal. You know, instead of going to the, and every heavy guy knows this, you know, go to Casual Mail or to DX, whatever they call it now, or King's Direct or something. My God, those things, I remember King's Direct spending, like, for a pair of shorts, like $60 for a piece of garbage. And really, like, not well made at all. And, like, it's expensive, that kind of stuff. Or you get a polo, you know, try like a 4X polo, and you know, it's branded for, maybe it's a Ralph Lauren polo or something, and, you know, you're spending $70 or $60 on a damn polo. I mean, a polo, which you know, it's not like it's something magical or some great fashion piece or something. It's a piece of garbage. It's the standard uniform for, you know, for this time, you know, for work and stuff, for casual stuff. You know, I hate that. I used to hate going for like a belt, and, you know, you're blowing $50 for a belt, and it's like, it's just a damn leather belt. You know, it's not like it's you know, it's not an Armani belt or something. It's just crazy. So it's nice seeing that. Like, you know, this shirt here, I got a Kohl's, you know, for $10, you know, and I like that because, quite frankly, it's a T-shirt I'm wearing around the house, and I don't really, you know, I'm not really there to, you know, buy something to impress something, as my father would say, you know. So anyway, so it's really cool. It's nice having that ability to be able to get, you know, normal stuff, and that, you know, to slide on that. And I'm excited about that too, because it's, you know, it's the way it should be. Instead of having to be like, oh, I see you're heavy. Come over here. Yeah, we have one that fits you. You know, and it's like, yeah, no thanks. You know, I don't really want an $80 polo shirt. But, so yeah, so, you know, everything has been going really good. One thing I wanted to share also, just on the health aspects for the moment, is the blood pressure has been fantastic. You know, I think I just had my blood pressure the other day when I have a monitor too, and the PA got me, I think he got me like 116/72 or something, which was fantastic. So I had to talk to my regular doctor about getting me off the blood pressure meds, because I don't think I really need it at this point, which is awesome. That's really a huge thing, because I did not want to go out that way. So, anyways, that's good. I did have some pain last week, which is kind of weird. There was a sharp pain around maybe midweek, and the strange thing is, it was not incision related, but it was near it, and I thought maybe it may be related to a little bit of constipation. So I took some stuff to remedy that. But as I talked to the PA, thing he mentioned that was interesting is that it may have been that, you know, who knows, and it did go away. You know, it was pretty sharp though. It wasn't like a standard, like, you know, you feel like, you feel sore after the surgery, and I still feel sore, like, you know, particularly if I'm laying down or something, or doing something, you know, maybe a little more active. But what the doctor said is well, the PA I should say, is that he thinks what the pain was related to actually is it was near the larger incision they have, and he thinks it was because they need to pull the muscle apart to get the stomach out. So he's like, I think what you felt is the stitches that are internal, they melt, and yours may be starting to melt, and it may be because of that, just because you're sore in that area, bottom line. So I was worried, of course, about the whole, you know, the whole leaking aspect, and he's like, as far as the leak goes, and I know my doctor has great stats, he's like it's very, very unlikely it would be that. We talked a bit about what a leak is like, and he was talking about that it has more infection aspects to it, but that was, of course, the thing I was worried about. And I asked him, like, so if it was a leak, how would I know? I'm like, because I'm not a doctor, you know, and that's what he was saying. He's like, you'd have a fever, you'd have vomiting, you know, it starts to get worse. Really, the kind of aspects tied to infection are kind of the risk factors there. He's like, what you're described is more than likely. He's like, it's just your muscles are sore there because it was pulled apart, you know, so. So I thought that was interesting, and he was really cool. I appreciate how he got into detail and made sure my questions were answered. So that was really cool. Um, so we're doing good. I mean, we're almost a month out. Next week will be a month since my surgery, and everything is going really well. I'm really enjoying all the aspects of this so far. I think it's been really good, and definitely a smart decision. But of course, it comes at a price. I mean, I definitely think I've done with the enjoying any sort of the meal stuff which makes sense. I kind of knew this going into. You're giving up that aspect, but you're gaining all the other stuff that you're gaining. And I'm feeling I'm definitely gaining on this. This was definitely a smart decision. So, and I'm glad now it's the protein stuff to kind of be whittling it down and not doing 24/7 protein. So it's nice to have regular food in, and everything's really doing really well. I'm very excited about where this is all going. I wish the weight would continue to slide a little bit on the scale, but on the other hand, I see it on the size of clothing that I'm able to wear now. So I know things are happening. So it may just be a shift, and but and of course, I'm not even a month. So I know these things take some time, and everything is doing well. And honestly, even if today, if I was in stasis from where I started, I mean, this is a hell of a lot better thing. So, and I know that won't be the case. This will continue to go down, and I'll continue to, especially as I'm able to exercise a little more freely now, which is good. And so it'll be good. I'm really excited about where this is all going. It's already been a great improvement in such a short time, and I know it's only going to get better. So anyway, I know it was a long video today, but I guess I'm making up for time for not doing last week. I just had a lot of things I wanted to share in my perspective, and hopefully this is helpful to someone out there. And until the next one, thank you.